I used to want to be a professional writer before I realized, no, I don't want to have to like constantly edit and meet those deadlines. But I always loved the joke of like commas are important. It's the difference between let's eat kids and let's eat kids. So without that pause, you have two totally different things going on.
That's a great point. It matters a lot in grammar and it matters a lot in search, right? Because it's just how people are speaking to Google, and people will tell Google exactly what they're thinking, but there's a lot of little clues hidden in there. And I think that's what's so interesting is you're trying to kind of almost get inside people's minds. Like, what are they trying to accomplish? What are they trying to do here? Is this something we want to be associated with? Like, that's the stuff I think it's super interesting.
I want to say it's dynamic thinking or lateral thinking, not always just seeing things in a linear perspective, because when you boil it down, my job is just sitting and looking at spreadsheets, and there's nothing quite interesting about that. But a few other people on the team, describe some of the stuff that we do as playing detective. So recently I've done some search engine marketing research and looking into one of our clients and their different article pages, and then looking at the keywords that we're bidding on, seeing if anything is optimized or if there's just a trend somewhere. So just kind of sorting through that spreadsheet of things that we're paying for, and then looking at the article and seeing how those things correlate, even though, correlation doesn't equal causation. It's definitely interesting, kind of like doing that balancing act of figuring out like, okay, like, is this thing that's showing up here something that actually relates to this article, or is it just something that's, happens to be showing up around it? Maybe we can capitalize in another way. So that's kind of been the thing that I'm most interested in right now.
Have you had any recent discoveries in your investigation work that you're particularly proud of?
Yes and no. And I know that I say that for a lot of things, but I'm not easily impressed with myself. And that might be what keeps me going, just trying to be better than the day before. But recently in one of these that I did, I noticed in the program that we were using that some of the keywords should have had us ranking on like the front page of Google. So I just decided to take a second look at that, since, those types of things change moment to moment. So just seeing what actually stuck. And out of the like 4 or 5 that I looked at, 2 of them were there, which I think was like a really good percentage rate. So just kind of like seeing that and being able to point it out, like maybe that'll make the client happy. Maybe that's like, it is something that they care about, but that specific positioning might be something that they're super interested in, but maybe they don't hear all the time. So it's kind of cool to be like, okay, for this phrasing that we're not quite capitalizing on, we're still on the front page. So what else can we do to keep that going is something that I had noticed.
That's cool. We've been interviewing a lot of people here lately, and one of the questions that we get often is, what's it like to work at Native? I'm not the best person to ask because I'm a bit biased. But if someone was to ask you that question, what would be your honest response to somebody who maybe is in the interview process? Whether it's a PM job, writer job, whatever it might be, how would you explain it to people?
Yeah, I would probably describe it like, if I'm talking as me and who I am as a person, I would definitely say it's straight up a good time. And you can't quite say that about a lot of places. Like, you might get a wishy-washy type of response, like, oh, like X isn't that great, but at least we have Y. And that's not, like a great way to live your life. But I feel like here at Native, you truly do get, at least the things that I've seen in the teams that I've worked with, it's definitely a learning culture. It's an educational culture. If you don't know something, you can ask someone. And if the person that you ask doesn't happen to know, they will find an answer, whether that's from them doing their own independent research or looking at something that already exists or talking to someone who's more of an expert on it. You're going to get an answer, which is really nice, because, you can work at some places where different things might fall through the cracks, kind of going through that type of process. But I think here at Native, we truly try to get through that as quickly as possible to have some good turnarounds, and not even in like a deadline type thing, but it's just like, if I ask you a question at 12 p.m., then maybe I'll get an answer by 2, which I think is pretty good with, all the different stuff that's going on. It's not that you necessarily have to wait until the end of the day to get a response.
Is that what you expected when joining the team?
No, it is not actually. I just kind of was used to that kind of status quo of you get the answer when you get the answer. So it's been really interesting to get such quick feedback or turnaround on different questions or things that have been proposed.
Yeah, How about the rest of the environment? Was the environment and the culture of the team what you expected?
Um, a little bit. I haven't worked at an agency before, but I'd always heard that they were, like a little more laid back. The projects just keep coming and they don't stop coming and they don't stop coming. And I'm going to stop before, Smash Money sues us for copyright. But yeah, no, the culture is honestly nothing that I could have expected. Everyone actually gets along. And I know, and I say it that way because a lot of companies say, yeah, we get along and it's just forced fun like a holiday party. But here at Native, we're doing all types of things all the time. We're having little events here and there, socially distant and safe, of course. But we also just have wacky conversations over like our internal communications, and we recommend music to each other and podcasts and TV shows. So it's like working with your best friends. And that feels cliche to say, which is why I'm giggling, but it's true. I do enjoy coming to work every day and just being around the people and doing the work.
Isn't that nice?
It is. It's so refreshing.